December 31st, 2024, New Year's Eve. The Eiger Mountain in Switzerland stands 3,970 meters tall, its north face known as one of the most dangerous climbs in the Alps. But tonight, danger doesn't come from the mountain itself. At 9:47 p.m., fire breaks out at a luxury ski resort perched on the slopes. Within minutes, flames engulf the main lodge. Inside, dozens of guests are celebrating the arrival of 2025. They have no idea they're about to become part of Switzerland's deadliest disaster in decades. Emergency services received the first call at 9:49 p.m. By 10:15 p.m., rescue helicopters circle overhead, but fierce winds and thick smoke make landing impossible. Firefighters arrive on foot, battling through snowdrifts and sub-zero temperatures. The inferno is so intense, the wooden structure collapses within 47 minutes. When dawn breaks on January 1st, authorities make a grim announcement. Dozens are presumed dead. This is the story of how a celebration turned into catastrophe, the investigation that followed, and the political firestorm it ignited. The resort in question is the Berg Hotel Eiger, a four-star hotel built in 1952. It sits at 2,320 meters altitude, accessible only by cable car or hiking trail. No roads lead directly to it, which makes it exclusive, peaceful, and during emergencies, nearly impossible to reach quickly. On New Year's Eve, the hotel was fully booked. 89 guests from 14 countries, families, couples, solo travelers, all drawn by the promise of champagne toasts and alpine views. The hotel employed 23 staff members that night. Swiss authorities haven't released an official death toll yet, but witnesses and first responders paint a devastating picture. One firefighter told local media, quote, "We couldn't get close enough. The heat was too intense. We heard screaming, but there was nothing we could do." A helicopter pilot described the scene as, quote, "hell on a mountaintop." So what caused the fire? That's the question everyone's asking, and the answers are still emerging. January 2nd, 2025. Federal investigators arrive at the site. The Swiss Federal Office for Civil Protection leads the inquiry, working alongside forensic teams, fire specialists, and aviation experts because of the helicopter rescue attempts. Early reports suggest the fire started in the hotel's kitchen. New Year's Eve service means multiple stoves running simultaneously, ovens at maximum capacity, staff working under pressure. One theory is that a grease fire ignited and spread faster than anyone anticipated. But there's a complication. The Berg Hotel Eiger underwent renovations just 6 months earlier. New wooden paneling was installed throughout the main lodge to enhance, quote, "authentic alpine charm." That paneling wasn't treated with modern fire retardants. Investigators are examining whether building codes were followed, whether inspections were thorough, whether corners were cut to meet the deadline for ski season. A construction foreman who worked on the renovation has already been questioned. He declined to comment publicly, but sources say he expressed concerns about fire safety during construction. Those concerns were allegedly dismissed by hotel management. Then there's the response time. Emergency services took 26 minutes to arrive after the first call. In urban Switzerland, average response time is 8 minutes. But the Berg Hotel Eiger isn't urban Switzerland. It's a remote location where rescue depends on weather, visibility, and terrain. Critics are asking whether the hotel should have had better on-site safety measures, more fire extinguishers, sprinkler systems, evacuation plans that account for extreme isolation. The owner, Alpen Resorts AG, released a statement on January 3rd. Quote, "We are devastated by this tragedy. Our hearts go out to the victims and their families. We are cooperating fully with investigators and will not rest until we understand exactly what happened." But cooperation isn't enough for the families. On January 5th, victims' relatives held a press conference in Bern. A German father whose daughter was celebrating her 30th birthday at the hotel said, quote, "They sold us safety, they sold us luxury, they sold us a dream. Instead, they gave us a nightmare." A British mother whose son worked as a bartender at the hotel said, quote, "He told me 3 weeks ago that the fire alarms kept malfunctioning. He said management knew. Why didn't they shut down? Why didn't they fix it?" These testimonies have shifted public opinion. What began as a tragic accident now looks like negligence. And that's where politics enters the story. Switzerland prides itself on precision, safety, and accountability. The country has strict building codes, rigorous inspections, and a reputation for excellence. But this disaster suggests cracks in the system. On January 6th, Switzerland's Federal Council, the 7-member executive body that governs the country, convened an emergency session. Minister of Justice and Police, Bate Jans, announced a comprehensive review of building regulations for high-altitude hotels. He stated, quote, "If our laws are inadequate, we will change them. If our enforcement is weak, we will strengthen it. This cannot happen again." But opposition parties aren't satisfied. The Swiss People's Party, the country's largest political party, accused the government of years of lax oversight. Party leader Marco Cisa said, quote, "This isn't just about one hotel, this is about a culture of complacency. When profits matter more than people, disasters like this become inevitable." The Social Democratic Party countered, demanding stricter penalties for companies that violate safety codes. Parliamentary member Mattea Meyer said, quote, "We need criminal liability. If executives knew about these risks and did nothing, they belong in prison." Meanwhile, the Green Party called for a ban on remote hotels that can't guarantee rapid emergency response. Green Party leader Balthazar Glattli said, quote, "We can't keep building resorts in places where help takes half an hour to arrive. Geography isn't an excuse, it's a warning." The debate has divided Switzerland. Some argue that mountain tourism is essential to the economy and that accidents, however tragic, are rare. Others insist that no vacation is worth risking lives. Tourism contributes over 70 billion Swiss francs to the country's economy annually. High-altitude resorts are part of Switzerland's identity, but after the Berg Hotel Eiger fire, that identity is being questioned. January 9, 2025, investigators release preliminary findings. The fire did start in the kitchen. A deep fryer overheated, igniting cooking oil. Staff attempted to extinguish it but used water instead of a fire blanket, causing the flames to spread. The wooden paneling accelerated the fire's growth. Within minutes, the blaze reached the roof. The building had smoke detectors but no sprinkler system. Fire extinguishers were present, but not enough for a fire of this scale. Most damning, the hotel's emergency evacuation plan assumed that cable cars would be operational. They weren't. High winds had shut them down hours before the fire started. Guests were trapped. The report also notes that several staff members attempted heroic rescues, leading guests through smoke-filled corridors to emergency exits. At least 18 people survived because of these efforts, but dozens more didn't make it out. As of January 10th, authorities confirm 47 deaths. 12 people remain in critical condition. Identification of victims is ongoing, complicated by the intensity of the fire. Alpine Resorts AG, the hotel's parent company, faces multiple lawsuits. Families are seeking damages. Employees are demanding compensation. Shareholders are panicking as stock prices plummet. On January 12th, the company's CEO resigned. In his resignation letter, he wrote, quote, "I take full responsibility for this failure. I failed the victims. I failed their families. I failed our staff." His successor has pledged reforms, but trust is shattered. Switzerland's parliament is expected to vote on new safety legislation by March. Proposed measures include mandatory sprinkler systems in all high-altitude hotels, stricter fire safety audits, and criminal penalties for executives who ignore safety violations. But legislation can't bring back the dead. It can't erase the trauma of survivors who watched friends and family perish. It can't undo the mistakes that turned a celebration into catastrophe. The Berg Hotel Eiger disaster is a reminder that safety isn't optional, that regulations exist for reasons written in blood, that when we prioritize convenience over caution or profit over protection, the consequences can be catastrophic. Switzerland is a country built on mountains, but it's also a country built on trust. Trust that buildings are safe